6,000 shillings per month from the government. Finally, let me just conclude with my family. You saw my two daughters, Rosemary and Winnie. I will call them both my mothers. Rosie was born when my mother was alive. And when she was born, Aida wanted to name her her mother. And I also wanted to name her my mother. Aida's mother is called Rose. We decided to do a compromise. Her mother is called Rose. My mother is called Mary. So we compromised. And that's how she became Rosemary. Okay? So Aida called her mama, and I also called her mama. Winnie was born after my mother died. So now, therefore, she also became now my mother. She was named after Winnie Mandela. At the time, Winnie Mandela was fighting so hard for the release of her husband from prison. But we had also a German friend. The wife was called Imgard. So she's Winnie Imgard. Okay? And then many other names she's given herself. Even Rosemary is called a K. But we call her Kazi. Kazi because she liked to work. She was working very, very hard. So she's called Winnie Kazi. That's the other name. Then there's Raila Jr., who's named after my not after me. That's named after my cousin who died in a road accident. So it is just a coincidence that he was also called Raila and I'm also called Raila. It's a different Raila. And then we had Fidel, who was our eldest son, who passed on, who we called Obangi. But me. So, but Fidel was the one who was with the mother. Now I want to talk about Aida. Because you don't know that you will not be able to stand if you don't have somebody who is strong around you. Because sometimes they say when you are there in the pulpit, you're holding the Bible, and for better and for worse, in poverty and in wealth, and so on. But it's very easy to say up there. But when the test actually comes, very few people pass that test. But Aida is a very strong person, strong personality. But she's gone through hell herself. Me, they can say I was a troublemaker. But she has seen a lot of flack. There's a time when I was sick in prison, and they had given me some wrong medicines, so I was feeling very bad. I was feeling a lot of pain in my head, and I was being detained in Manyani, there in the Savo there. And when the train was passing, they would hear the train making a lot of noise. You just hear the pain in the middle of my head. I could hardly sleep. So I kept on telling these guys that I was sick. They were saying that I was pretending. So I decided to go on hunger strike. And when I went on hunger strike, then they came, now, the security officers, to read the Riot Act to me. That if I don't want to eat, they're going to force feed me through my nose. And I told them, you can go to hell. I have already been reduced to an animal-like life here. So I'm not going to take this lying down, because I will not accept this kind of thing, and will not accept that you can come to intimidate me in these conditions. So at night I would shout very loud, because I was in solitary confinement, alone in that block. But I would shout very loud so that other prisoners could hear me. Then they now came, and then they came back, they found the medicine had been given, the whole of my hand here was swelling. A lot of swelling in my hand and everywhere. So they moved me from Manyani and brought me back to Kamiti. But in Kamiti, I managed to use toilet paper, wrote a letter to Aida, and I gave it to a friendly Askari who agreed to smuggle it and bring it to Aida. So Aida went and talked to a doctor, and then the doctor prescribed some medicine. She went and bought and gave it to that Askari, who smuggled the medicine back to me in the cells. So, but because my head had been boiling, this letter, Aida wrote me a letter giving me prescriptions on how I should use the medicine. I could not read this note completely, because each time I try to read like this, I feel a lot of pain in my head. So I put this note under the blanket and forgot about it. So one day when they came to do a search, then because you have just two blankets, one you spread on the floor and one you cover yourself with, they found that note. And then now they started asking me where I got it from. Because all the letters which are written to you are stamped officially. They pass through the prison system. This one did not pass through the prison system. So they were now alarmed. They started now investigating. That's when they now went for Aida. And they took the note to a writing expert, who found out that this was Aida's writing. So that they went and picked her up and locked her up and began to torture her to find out how she managed to smuggle this letter to me in the hospital. So that is the time, of course, that is her story. But I was saying she had a lot of hell at that time. Then I was later on released from prison. I came out and I stayed out for 6 months. I was arrested again and taken back to this time that constructed Nyayo House. I was taken to the dungeons of Nyayo House, where they put you there in the room, they fill it with water. So just sit there in the water, you jump up and down the whole night. You know how long the night is. So after keeping me there for more than a week, Aida took a lawyer and went to court to demand that I be produced in court, habeas corpus. This is after 2 weeks. So immediately the matter went to court. They quickly served me with the detention order and was transferred to Kamiti, then to Naivasha. But then the following day, Aida got a letter from Minister of Education. She had been fired. She was sacked. And she was staying in a school compound, Kenya High School, given a few hours to clear from the school. Now our house had been rented by another tenant. She was nowhere to go. It was raining. With the children, with the furniture, nowhere to go the whole night, just raining on them. Eventually, I don't know even how she managed. But then later on again, they would come to arrest her because they were thinking that was communication between us and her. Okay? Then I was released again thereafter and arrested again a third time. This is the last time I was arrested when me and Matiba and Rubia had planned Masabasaba. And we went in for a third time. I was released, and then now when we were now organizing now another meeting, I was told they were going to come to try to finish me, and I escaped town. I went into exile. She's the one who arranged for my getting out of town. And then eventually, I told you about the mothers of the prisoners. When those mothers were camping there at the Freedom Corner, eventually they went to sleep. They were sleeping now at the All Saints Cathedral. That's where they could be seen. So one day Aida went to visit them, where they were being held, where they were sleeping in All Saints. And when she went there, they talked with the women, and then she left. The following day, the headline story in the Nation: the plot thickens. Aida Odinga with the mothers of the prisoners. By midday, she got another letter of being sacked. But that other time when she was sacked from Kenya High, later on, because of the protest, she had been brought back and she was working at the ministry quarters. This time she got another sack, the last and final sack of Aida Odinga. Okay? So I just want to tell you that Aida is a very strong pillar in support of me.